For a closer look at this, we're joined now by the Chief Executive Officer of the Film and Publication Board, Dr. Mashilo Boloka. A very good evening to you, and thank you so much for speaking to us. I'd like to first start with the concept of a safer internet day. When was it introduced and what was the purpose behind it?
Thank you very much, Episode, for having us this evening, late evening. The World Safer Internet Day is a day that is celebrated by over 40 countries throughout the world on second week of the second month of every year to raise awareness about the challenges that the public, particularly the children or learners, are facing online or on the internet. And I think as part of the global work, as a Film and Publication Board of South Africa, it's important that we do the same as well, because it is quite clear that our children or learners or even members of the public as well are facing a lot of online abuse. Therefore, what we are saying is to say the internet is a very good tool. It's a human rights issue, but let's use it responsibly in a way that we don't abuse others. We should protect others as much as we protect ourselves. It's not just about ourselves, but also others as well.
Just look at digital platforms. As much as there are safety measures, we've realized that over the years, not only are children becoming more and more confident in the use of technology, but they're becoming more astute. You'll sometimes even get a 2-year-old who can just grab a phone and unlock it, even though you think you've taken the necessary measures. So what are we able to do as South Africans, as South African parents, guardians, to safeguard our children?
Well, that's why I think it's a mandate that the government of South Africa has given to the FPB as a statutory organization. Its responsibility is to regulate the production, distribution, and the possession of content that is being distributed, particularly online. So that's the mandate that has been given to us. Now, what we have done, I think there are various initiatives that we have as the FPB. The first one, which is quite critical, which is why we came to Gqeberha a year today, is what we call education. Because no matter how hardened or how fierce we can be, the most critical thing is education, particularly when you engage with the young people, to show them that as much as like I said, the internet is such a critical tool in their lives, important tool for their education, for their entertainment, and for their information purposes. There are still dangers that are lurking. So part of what we do is more education, and we do that in collaboration with other partners, both within government and outside, particularly the digital platform owners, because these are the critical people. Our event today was graced by a lot of them that are prevalent in South Africa, because when we hear from them, I think the learners will get more information. Then the second issue that we do as the Film and Publication Board, which is quite critical, is a kind of a training program for the teachers, the parents, and the law enforcement agencies. Because of the FPB, we cannot get into Fixer's house, and I think that's where we want CPSO as a parent to help us to spread that message around online harms, and then even the law enforcement agencies or the police, because sometimes some of these issues are too complex for them. We want a situation whereby when a learner or a young person, or any person for that matter, member of the public, when they go to the police station and report this matter, a policeman doesn't have to mind what kind of issue it is or what kind of illegality is this. So that's why we try to train them. And then the other one, which is quite critical, is as the FPB. We have established the first South African Online Youth Safety Council, which is a platform for young people to kind of encourage peer-to-peer engagement among themselves. Because you and I, may not be able to engage with the 12-year-olds, but therefore it's important that they engage among themselves and teach each other. Because the moment you do that as an adult, sometimes they think, you are very authoritarian and therefore you are invading their privacy, but you provide that opportunity for them to engage. And then the last one, is partnerships. Because, like I said, we can't do it on our own. We need collaborations, both locally and internationally, with regulators, with NGOs, with parents, movements, and so forth. But in cases of non-compliance of the FPB, you've got the teeth to bite those that don't want to comply. You've got powers that are entrusted to us by the Act, by the Act of Parliament. And finally, probably, we are working on a sort of online support mechanism to deal with online victims, because that's a very critical area. We may not be able to do it ourselves, but we may need to collaborate with others who are better positioned to provide any kind of support. With us, education and enforcing the law is quite critical.
All right, Dr. Boloka, I need to ask this question because sometimes, unfortunately, our thinking around what endangers children, as you said, it's important for as a parent to work alongside you, form partnerships with you and other organizations. But our thinking around what endangers children can be quite linear because it's a generational thing. Some things we can't even think them possible using technology. I mean, I know that teenagers or even children at school or generally young people who engage on social media have actually become adept at bullying without actually being obvious. It's done in a very insidious way. So how do we deal with that then?
Sorry, I lost you for a second there, Tepiso. If you can repeat your question.
I'm saying we need to broaden our horizons in terms of what endangers children. So what I may think is impossible on social media, it can actually be done very adeptly by young people. The fact that bullying can be done in such an insidious way that, and I've seen it, I've heard about it, that somebody can say, oh, Tepiso, I like your glasses today, but it's actually a form of bullying. So I'm saying, how do we broaden our thinking on even preventing that which we don't even think is or can be a threat?
Well, that's why I think for us it's very important to engage, first of all, even when we engage the youth or the young people. We bring in platform owners because they will tell you some of the issues that they deal with from their own platform environment. And secondly, when you have the youth engaging themselves, they will tell you about their own realities, not the realities that probably as the FPB or as the adults we think are that's with the experience. And I think, you see, especially in a democratic country like South Africa, where the issue of privacy is a human rights issue as contained in our constitution. Therefore, you have to respect that space. But how would you ensure that you don't invade that space? Hence, we say to them, we create that platform where they can engage us and we listen to their experience. And based on their experience, that's when we can make that necessary intervention. We provide any kind of, I think that's why we're working with NGOs that can provide counseling. And because these are the realities. There are a lot of suicides out there resulting from cyberbullying, harassment, sextortion. The realities that probably you and I, when we were growing up, we never experienced those because our world was a very physical world, unlike the online space, which sometimes is too complicated for anyone to understand. So for us, really, is to listen to them more and provide assistance where it's needed instead of saying, okay, this is how things should be done, this is the kind of intervention that are required. It's more to listen to them and work with them through all the process. But also, when we engage, I think it's very important for them to understand that this is not only a South African issue. Yes, in South Africa, like anywhere else, but let's engage even on international spaces because the internet has got no borders at all. It's a transnational platform.
All right. Thank you so much for your time and sharing your insights with us. Dr. Mashilo Boloka is the CEO of the Film and Publications Board, speaking to us about Safer Internet Day.